This is a video from the series How Consciousness Evolves. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the third noble truth. This is episode 36. There is a complete playlist of all the videos in the series available. Just search for the playlist in the app or on the website. An aversion, which then leads to grasping and letting go. These are the three marks of existence. So to recap, dukkha leads to craving, craving leads to grasping, and grasping leads to letting go. Then letting go leads to more dukkha, more craving, and so on, in an endless cycle. The previous episodes are available for streaming or download. You can also subscribe to the feed to get automatic updates when new videos are released. Well, here we see that aversion also leads to dissatisfaction. Nothing satisfies us. Everything is impermanent and therefore causes suffering. And when we try to push things away, avoid them, or fight them, they don't go away. If we were to give up, then that too would become another craving, another thing that the mind would grasp onto. But when we realize that it is impermanent, that it is beyond our control, then we start to see things differently. Well, we have trouble letting go because we are identified with the body and mind. But if we look closely at the body, we see that it is made up of cells and atoms and molecules. And that is where liberation lies. Well, it is born from craving, and it dies with letting go. And both of these are caused by attachment and aversion. We are not our thoughts and feelings. We are the awareness from which they arise. We are not our pleasant and unpleasant experiences. We are the awareness from which they arise. In the next episode, we will look at the fourth noble truth, which is the path to the end of suffering. Attachment and aversion are the two extremes of the mind. If you'd like to support our work, please use the link in the description below. Thank you for listening, and may you be happy and free from suffering. Our community is a group of people from all over the world who are interested in learning about meditation and mindfulness. It is a great place to share your experiences and learn from others. We also have a weekly online meditation group where people from all over the world come together to meditate. You can join the group through the link in the description below. Both lead to suffering. And the root of attachment and aversion is the identification with the body and mind. As long as we think that we are the body and mind, we will suffer. But when we realize that we are not the body and mind, that we are the space from which they arise, then we will be free from suffering. And if we look closely at the mind, we see that it is made up of thoughts, feelings, and sensations. None of these things are truly I or me. I am not my cells. I am not my thoughts. I am the space from which the cells and thoughts arise. We think that we are the body and mind, and we think that we are separate from others. We think that we own our body and mind. But really, our body and mind belong to nature. They come from nature, and they will return to nature. They are not ours. Then we stop struggling with what arises in the mind. And that is where freedom lies. Instead, we need to understand the impermanent nature of everything, and that is where wisdom comes in. They stay there, and we end up suffering even more because of our resistance. That is why aversion too leads to dissatisfaction. If you like this episode, please hit the like button to help us grow. But this is futile because we have already seen in the first noble truth that pleasant experience is one of the three marks of existence. Therefore, it is impermanent and it cannot bring lasting happiness. If you'd like to join our community, please follow the instructions provided. And finally, if you'd like to contact us directly, please send an email to the address provided. You can support the work that we do through the link in the description below. In the last episode, we saw how dukkha leads to the arising of craving. So how does consciousness evolve through this process? The second noble truth is that craving is the cause of suffering. But in this third truth, we learn something very important about what craving actually is. It is attachment to what is pleasant and aversion to what is unpleasant. We see that in the mind there are two extremes. One extreme is attachment and the other is aversion. Both of these extremes are cravings and both are causes of suffering. What happens to it? In order to answer that question, we need to look at the third noble truth, which describes the nature of the cause of suffering, which is attachment and aversion. In the first noble truth, we learn that life is full of suffering. Why would we want to let go of attachment? Because it leads to dissatisfaction. We have seen in previous episodes how the mind works to constantly try to acquire what it wants in order to satisfy itself. But that never happens. Even if we achieve what we want, the satisfaction is only temporary. then we start craving for something else. That is why attachment leads to dissatisfaction. But then what about aversion? Why would we want to let go of aversion? When we understand this, we start to see that all mental phenomena, everything that appears in the mind, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, leads to dissatisfaction. So what should we do with our mind? Should we just give up and do nothing? No, not at all. As long as we think that what is arising in the mind is permanent, or that we can control it, or change it, or that it is ours, it will cause us suffering. Many people seek out happiness by trying to increase the amount of pleasant experiences in their lives and reduce the amount of unpleasant ones. So then, why do we have so much trouble letting go of attachment and aversion? We have identified with our body and mind for so long that it feels like we are them. When we understand this, then we stop clinging to the body and mind, and we stop being afraid of letting go of them. So to summarize, what happens to consciousness as it passes through the cycle of dukkha, craving, grasping, and letting go? So remember, we are not our body and mind. We are the space from which they arise. We are the awareness from which thoughts and feelings arise. So now we have looked at the first 3 noble truths. So before we end this episode, I'd like to invite you to join our community. If you liked this episode, please hit the like button to help us grow.